Hey everyone, it's Albie. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I have another review for you today. I was talking about Priest by Sierrasimone. I have a lot of thoughts about this book. So it is beloved by my best friend. I thought it was fine. I give it a 3. You know, a 3-star is good. It is good. It is like a B minus C plus. You know, you're going to pass the class essentially. So I will say that it wasn't my favorite book, but I'll get into why. So when I was doing my research for the notes, I forgot to write a review. And I could not find the heroine's name. So her name is Poppy. I wanted to call her Kimberly for like ever. And the fact that I could not find her name kind of spoke to like the characters and character development and storyline. So Tyler, of course, is our hero. He is a priest. He's a Catholic priest. He's 28, 29 years old. He entered the priesthood because he always grew up Catholic, I think. And his sister, unfortunately, committed, she did herself in, sadly. And he lives with that guilt. It's sort of one of those things where he always was like her protector and he thought he could take care of her. And because he couldn't, I guess he felt like he should do like atonement or something. And so that's sort of his like premise into entering the priesthood, was he wanted to help people. And so he does. He's a good helper. But, we have Poppy show up in like the first 5 minutes. She comes for like confession. And of course, I think it's like you can't see one another fully. There's like a screen or something like that. And he's like really drawn to her voice. He's like, wow, who is this woman? Like, I'm into this. I'm like, uh-oh, I shouldn't be thinking like this. Uh-oh, my brain. He's put into like a Dante's Inferno, essentially, pun intended, by Poppy. And he has this infatuation that grows into lust, which goes into, some other stuff for him. And so Tyler and Poppy enter into a forbidden, taboo relationship, and strongly sexual relationship, so to speak. And, as I said in my like mid-month wrap-up, if you're not into like super spicy stories, or if you're not into a book where like the whole premise is relying on you to really like this kink or taboo or trope, so to speak, if it's not your thing, you're not going to love the book. And like, I don't really care much for priest romances. It's not like my go-to for forbidden romance, where I'm not even really into like teacher-student romance books. But if you don't know, if it's one of those, if you don't know, you're not, to read it and see if you are. But if you're one that's not into forbidden romance, you don't need to pick it up, because it relies so much on the tropes and the tabooness and the, ooh, this makes me feel flustered, So if that's not your jam, you're not going to get into the storyline, because the storyline is like, to the spice. This is one where the spice overshadows the storyline by a lot, and it relies on a lot of religious kink, and like Catholic religious kink. I mean, it's, Christianity, I can't speak. It relies on that Catholic guilt. Is that a thing? I know there's like Jewish guilt, there's a Catholic guilt. I thought there was. I don't know. I don't want to offend anyone. So I feel like it relies on like guilt, atonement. Should we, shouldn't we? This is so bad. I shouldn't be with someone because I took vows as a Catholic priest. I can't look or touch or everything else he does, So, that wasn't really what was interesting to me. So because I wasn't interested in it, I wasn't getting like turned on by the story. It wasn't gonna be a 6-star read for me. And I don't think you necessarily have to be like turned on by a kinky story to give it a 6-star. You might just vibe with their characters or something, But this one to me felt like if you're not into it, you're just not gonna love it. And like there's is it Unforgiven or something by Pam Godwin, which is another priest romance. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up because I didn't love this one. Why explore this sort of sub genre of spicy romances when I know it's not like my go-to? It's sort of like any sort of book that's really spicy, like The Pool Boy. If you're not into reverse age gap, you don't want to read The Pool Boy. The Doctor, that one is older age gap. If you're not into older age gaps, male with older man, daddy, young girl, you're not going to be into that one. Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. It's age gap. It's her ex-boyfriend's dad. He's 42. She's 19. They really hit it off, but oh my gosh, we shouldn't because you're my ex-boyfriend's dad. If it relies on those sort of being into that sort of storyline, it overtakes the story. Whereas like I will say, sometimes it can equal out or balance. Like I just wrote or talked about Desperate Measures by Katie Robert. That one was a good balance of this kinky subdom dominant bully hero, where it had a good plot and the heroine wasn't just like there for the ride. No pun intended, you know. But like with this one, Poppy's name is barely even mentioned in any reviews because I forgot to write a review for some reason. And, you know, it's like, what is her name? And like, no one mentions her name. No one could care. Everyone could care less about the heroine. The heroine is more so an archetype for the reader who wants to project themselves, I think, as the one that's committing the forbidden, lustful romance with Tyler, the hot priest with jeans and a clerical, you know? So that's how I sort of thought of it. I mean, I felt like this wasn't a story where you wanted to have the heroine and you wanted a happy ending. It was like, even the epilogue where, spoiler alert, if you don't want to spoil, you know, they get a ring on it. You know, he's like, wow, you look so good in that white dress. I want to fill up your kush lapis. I'm like, okay, whatever. I was like, I got like 2 minutes left of this book, okay. So it just relies on that. I think it's one of the stories like choose your own adventure, but you want to put yourself in the story. So yeah, that's enough on Priest. I don't want to like trash it. It was fine. But what's weird, Priest was like, I could care less. Book 2, I think it's called Sinner. That one is like a regular bad boy type. I think it's one of Tyler's brothers. And a nun. And I'm interested in that story. I don't know why. I don't know why. I liked the teach me romances. So I loved The Lady Gets Lucky by Joanna Shoup with like kissing romances. Like, I don't know what to do. I want to seduce someone. So I do like those. So maybe that's what it is. I hope it's not like Puccini Suor Angelica where it's like, oh, I had a kid at 15 and gave it up for adoption and now I'm a nun because my parents or whatever, and so I was a bad girl, but now I'm not. I'm a nun. Oh, but I missed it so much, and that's sort of like what what Tyler was going through. He was like an F boy in college or whatever, and then his sister, you know, killed herself, and he's like, oh man, I miss, you know, human touch, and I went it with Poppy, and of course he's like 11 inches or whatever. It's like whatever, bro, and yeah, so that was Priest. Sinner, I'm intrigued by it. I don't necessarily want to pick it up right away. Maybe in the fall, like Halloween. I don't know. I might pick up the second book. But yeah, that was my review of Priest by Sierra Simone. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't mean to bash books, so if you're coming off like, this is my favorite book, I'm glad it's your favorite book. That's awesome. I want people to have their favorite books. It just wasn't mine. And I wish it was. I wish it was a 6-star read because it's my friend's favorite book. And I'm like, oh no, I want it to be my favorite book too so we can vibe on it. But it just wasn't, excuse me, it just wasn't for me. So everyone, hope y'all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And I will see y'all soon for another video. Have a great day. Bye.